So the province has mandated that every municipality must have an asset management plan by July 1st of 2025. The township is currently at step 2 in the process, and we are on track to meet that deadline. The township uses reports to make evidence-based decisions. These are tables from the current roads needs study that we just received in February, and the road needs study will be used to determine priority roads based on traffic and conditioning rating. For the municipal asset plan, we need to decide the level of service, or in the case of roads, the acceptable condition rating. Currently, 37% or 1/3 of municipal roads are in good or excellent condition. 52% are in fair condition, and 11% of all roads are in poor condition. Council recognizes that there's much work to be done and will focus on the 11%. This slide depicts the amount of money we need in order to implement a capital and preventative maintenance program. For paved roads over the next 5 years, it is 2.6 million. And for gravel roads, for a 2-inch lift over the next 5 years, it is 1.4 million. So that's 4 million in roads over the next 5 years. As with the roads needs study, we also conducted a bridge and culvert study to provide evidence. This slide depicts the condition rating of our 6 bridges and 10 culverts. It also indicates the amount of money we need for repairs or replacement, which comes out of the capital budget. Starting in 2024 with we're starting 2024 with almost a 2 million deficit in bridges and culvert work. In core infrastructure, bridges and roads, that is a $6 million that we need. So considering we have, remember the investment slide, 1.2 million available investments, we need to be diligent when determining what projects we're working on. And remembering about the risk about the asset consumption, each year our assets are depreciated and consumed. In 2022, the value was $350,000. Remember the reserve slides where we mentioned we're not where we want to be yet. But a minimum of our asset reinvestment amount should be the depreciated value. So in summary, we hope that this has given you some idea of Bonfield's financial story. There's a lot of information, and again, this will be on the website. We are working on updating policies, procedures, and bylaws to streamline operations, create sustainable long-term plans, and alternative revenue opportunities. We hope you have a better understanding of where your tax money is going, and remember our budget meetings are always public and all are welcome. We will be hosting a public meeting about updating our user fee bylaw where we need your input as well. And with that, I will turn it over to Andre to speak about user fees.
So user fees is one method in which the township can generate revenue to offset the cost of services it provides, and it only impacts those who benefit from the service. For this reason, all user fees will be reviewed within the next couple of weeks. As an example, the township is trying to recoup the cost of some services like animal registration. Did you know it costs each taxpayer $15 every time we register a dog? After doing a review of the surrounding communities, staff will make a recommendation regarding fees. All unregistered animals will become the property of the township and will be disposed of as per the bylaw. We are hoping that this will help with the issue of stray cats. As most of you know, there is an issue of stray cats, so As I said, hopefully this will address that issue. Another example of bylaws being reviewed is the open air burning bylaw, where user fees may apply. The burn season is from April 1st to October 31st of every year, and with the increased in forest fires, we need to educate our residents on the requirements they need to follow when burning. Fire permits is one way to ensure that everyone follows the bylaw and signs off that they understand the rules. Again, we will be reviewing bylaws from surrounding municipalities and make recommendations based on our findings. I'll pass it over to Ann Carr.
Hi, I'm Ann, and as you can tell, they left the best conversations to the end. Just to wake you up, they left it till the end. Right, Mike?
Sure.
I seen you having a nap. So tonight I'm here to talk about short-term rentals, how we may be able to regulate them and permit them, as well as trailers on vacant land. When I was a little girl, I just want to humanize it for a minute. When I was a little girl, my grandfather had a cottage on Sprucedale on Doe Lake. And in the 70s, when I would go there, you would walk into that cottage and you could smell the mildew in the mist, and it was beautifully paneled with the couch that was green with the yellow flowers. And now when I go there to visit him, there's a condo beside it and a mansion on the other side. And the cottage is very well dwelling. Lake life has changed a lot since I was a kid. And that's why I believe we're here to talk about short-term rentals. Bonfield is not alone in the debate of short-term rentals. That has become a global hospitality industry that has grown quicker than the regulation. Short-term rentals facilitated by platforms like Airbnb have become increasingly popular in Ontario, offering travelers unique lodging experiences. However, the surge in short-term rentals has prompted the Ontario government to establish regulations to balance interests of hosts, guests, and the broader community. In Ontario, the legal challenges associated with short-term rentals revolve around zoning regulations and community impact. And like the provincial government likes to do, they move that to municipalities to make the decision. We are here tonight to understand what the township proposes to do to ensure we maintain the character of our community. We want to work with all of you to provide insightful solutions as we finish our official plan and zoning bylaw to include short-term provisions, as well as to provide expectations for short-term rental hosts so they may provide the best experience to the visitors of Bonfield. What does the short-term rental business look like in Bonfield? When I went through all of the advertised short-term rentals in Bonfield, I came up with 34, and 71% of those are located on our waterfront, which is the recreational designation in our official plan. Close to $2 million industry is in Bonfield, and I was actually shocked by that number. Using on Canada's stats on a visitor stay of 3.5 to 4 nights occupancy. If a single family of 4 were to visit every advertised short-term rental, we have potential for 136 visitors per day in Bonfield. And why are they here? They are here for the recreational beauty that we can offer. What our residents had to say with the community survey. 159 people answered the survey, and the community survey provided the township insight and direction to determine how to proceed with preparing a short-term rental licensing bylaw. The survey indicates that the township should permit short-term rentals, that we should regulate short-term rentals with licensing, and rentals should be permitted on private roads, and that there should be no limit on the nights a short-term rental is used. Through public consultation for the official plan, the community survey, and delegations of council, as well as with staff and council, we heard the voices of our community. And that happened to me because I thought she wasn't going to be able to say a triple with syllable word tonight. Short-term rentals are ruining our social fabric. Short-term rentals could be an opportunity to add a thread to the social fabric of our community. Let us be proud that visitors want to enjoy our beautiful neighborhood while ensuring guests are provided a code of conduct while using the property. It is adding to the housing crisis. Particular to Bonfield, the current placement of short-term rentals are in the recreational area as well as seasonal dwellings. And like the story I just told you, the key is housing crisis and affordability. Waterfront property should not be an affordable option for anyone that's in an affordability problem. Seasonal dwellings also would not provide permanent residency. Short-term rentals make up 1% of the housing market in Canada. Short-term rentals provide for recreational tourism and visitors to our area. Visitors are potential for extra spending within the community and the region. Tonight we are offering our proposal for solutions to permit short-term rentals so that we may create a licensing bylaw to be proactive instead of reactive by not moving forward on addressing the issue. I use my cottage twice a year and would like let others to enjoy it. The recreational area is host to many seasonal dwellings, and it is understandable that it would be able to be used more often as a short-term rental and may also provide income for affordability as well. It is very clear that most recreational property within the township of Bonfield exists on private roads where the municipality has no jurisdiction. I can't even lick my paper open anymore. The current official plan guides the municipality on land use policies. If 71% of short-term rentals are in the recreational designation, our policy states that it shall be permitted. Therefore, a short-term rental would not require an official plan amendment. I was ahead of the screen. These are the maps where our recreational properties are in the Pine Lake area, Campbelltown Bay, as well as Lake Nosponsing. As you can see, where our designations are located, most is accessed through privately maintained areas. The zoning for these areas are residential limited services. The current zoning bylaw does not permit commercial recreational tourism in the uses that are provided in it. However, case law has shown that the owner of a dwelling in the recreational designation is using their property for the same as the renter is using it. Therefore, when a renter uses a dwelling in a zone, it is providing the same use as the owner and therefore is ultra vires of the Planning Act. This is one of the cases. Sorry. A lot of time is spent just researching what other municipalities are doing to permit short-term rentals. Research also includes seeing what did not work for other municipalities. This case law provides that although the official plan in the township of Puslinch had intent with the recreational designation to provide for commercial tourism activities, and the zoning bylaw did not provide the use of such, the courts ruled that the intent of the area and the use of the property is the same for the owner as well as the renter, and that the said bylaw was regulating the people and not the dwelling. Considering 71% of advertised short-term rentals in Bonfield are on waterfront, the renters are visiting to enjoy the recreational areas that the geography of the township provides. Short-term rentals continue to receive significant attention throughout Ontario and beyond. As municipalities grapple with these issues, the lessons of other municipalities that seek to regulate short-term rentals need to do so in a manner that is clear and non-discriminatory, otherwise such regulation is likely ineffective. The objective of Bonfield short-term rental licensing bylaw. The township has three main objectives to include in a short-term rental licensing bylaw. Considerations to present in the bylaw to meet the objectives of council is why we are here tonight. We want to maintain the character of our neighborhoods, ensure health and safety, building code and fire code, and ensure that there's responsible ownership. To maintain the character of our neighborhoods, should we include items as, and I'm asking them as questions because we're here for your input tonight. Should there be complaint procedures in the bylaw? Ensure the owner is on the premises, have a demerit point system, administrative penalties, and regulate the number of guests. For health and safety, we need to recognize that there are building codes and fire codes, just like hotels and motels. Should we regulate that there's emergency plans, fire code compliances, building code compliances, liability insurance, and septic inspections? To help ensure responsible ownership, should we regulate with a municipal accommodation tax to help pay for the enforcement of the bylaw? Should the owner be on the premises, or should there be a designated responsible person? Administrative penalties. How's the licensing system going to work, and the demerit point system? In conclusion, as short-term rentals continue to reshape the hospitality landscape in Ontario and around the world, hosts and guests must navigate a complex regulatory environment. Staying informed about the local zoning regulations, licensing requirements, and tax obligations is essential for a successful and legally compliant short-term rental experience. We are asking for your input to ensure that the experience within our township reflects success. And that's